This is a paid advertisement on behalf of Virtuix Holdings. What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Jan Goetgeluk, founder and CEO of Virtuix. Pleasure to have you on today, Jan. How are you doing?
Hey, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Yes, excited to be talking about the company. You're in a very exciting space. So, Jan, for those who are new to Virtuix, can you walk us through the origin of the company and what problem you originally set out to solve in the VR space? It's a very exciting space that you're in.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I started working on the company way back in 2012, founded the company in 2013. I thought virtual reality was going to be the next big thing. I was a bit early. This was way before VR was cool again. But I thought the biggest problem that hadn't been solved yet was how to walk around inside the virtual environment, inside VR. I didn't want to sit down or just stand up pushing buttons on a joystick or a keyboard. I wanted to walk around naturally inside the VR environments. For that, you need something like a treadmill, but in 360 degrees, an omni-directional treadmill. And that's what I set out to develop. I have a mechanical engineering background, and that's a mechanical problem. And I started working on that. And just maybe as a little bit more about me, I'm originally from Belgium. I have a mechanical engineering background, but I came to the US, my first job out of college. And I loved it. I loved the US, the American dream, the culture, the mentality. And so my company wanted me to go back to Belgium, but I decided to stay. I quit my job, stayed in the US, went to business school, and then I joined JP Morgan as an investment banker out of business school. Did that for a few years, but I always wanted to do something entrepreneurial. And so I started working on this problem of omnidirectional movement in my free time, quote unquote, not that much free time as an investment banker. But late at night, I was working on this. I worked on this problem of how to walk around endlessly without boundaries in 360 degrees inside VR. And that's how we started working on the Omni, which is now our core technology.
So Virtuix has developed some really unique technology with its omnidirectional treadmill, as you just mentioned. So what makes your platform stand out versus other VR experiences on the market today?
Yeah, we add the movement piece. Whereas if you just have a VR headset, you're just kind of static. You can move around, but you don't have the full body engagement. So we add the movement piece so you can physically move around in 360 degrees, walking, running, crouching, kneeling inside that virtual environment. So it creates a much more immersive and engaging experience. It also solves motion sickness. Some people get motion sick in VR because if you're pushing a joystick to move around, your brain thinks you're walking, but your body is not moving. And that disconnect makes people sick. So with us, you're physically moving so you don't get that motion sickness. And you're active. You're getting your steps in. It's healthy. And so part of our system on the consumer side, Omni One, it's a gaming system, but you're also getting your steps in. It's also a healthy way of gaming, of staying active. One of our users, for example, lost 40 pounds in 4 months just using our products. So it's a much more active way and much more immersive way to experience virtual reality beyond just a VR headset, which for some people, just a VR headset alone, is just not good enough. It's just not interesting enough. But with us, you have the full body experience, which takes it to another level.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like with video games, sometimes the people think about them negatively because you're just sitting down, you're not moving, you're not exercising, but now you can basically combine the best of both. So that is pretty awesome. So you've been leading the company for quite some time. How has your role evolved? And, what are your key priorities right now as CEO?
Yeah, well, first of all, I still work a lot. I work 70, 80 hours a week, which is a lot. It's a lot more than most people. That stems from my investment banking days. But I'm obsessive about being successful and making this company a big success. Historically, I've focused on marketing and products, and of course anything finance, IR, fundraising related. And we raised $50 million in the private market as a private company before we went public. Mark Cuban is a big investor. We raised money from VCs, high net worth individuals. Now we're a public company listed on NASDAQ, VTIX, which has been great, but it takes a lot more of my time on the investor relations side. So now I'm very much focused on keeping our stock liquid, talking to investors, keeping our stock trading, which is very important to us, especially as a young public company. As we're looking at M&A, as we're looking to keep growing. I mean, the way we perform in the market, it's a key priority. And so we promoted someone in the company to chief product officer, and someone else to chief marketing officer. So I no longer need to lead those efforts in the company. We have great teams doing that, and I can really focus. Well, still involved in every aspect of the company. Don't get me wrong. I'm a detail-oriented CEO who knows about everything and really tries to help where I can. But taking care of our shareholders and our stock is a key priority for me, and our shareholders can know that I care deeply about our product, our company, our team, our mission, and I'll go through walls, to make this company successful, to make it a $1 billion company, if you will. So that's what I'm focused on.
I love to hear the vision and your passion. So there's clearly been a lot of progress recently. What are you most excited about today in terms of adoption, partnerships, or product development?
Yeah. So our business is, and we really have a dual use strategy, if you will. We have our consumer business, high growth, high volume. That's very exciting. And we pair that with high value defense contracts. So consumer and defense are our two main focus areas. And then some enterprise as well. We have some big developments there too. But on the consumer side, we have our partnership with Meta, Made for Meta program. And we'll have some more announcements around that in the near future. But that's a big deal for us. On the consumer side, having access to the Meta ecosystem, to the 6 million active Quest users, Meta Quest headset users, who can now use our products directly with their existing headset and games. That's a big deal. That's going to stimulate a lot of growth on the consumer side, where we continue to scale. And on the defense side, we've had a lot of great news recently, lots of traction in the defense industry, because our technology allows warfighters, soldiers, for the first time to simulate infantry and walking the battlefield, walking the terrain before you fight on it. The military has simulators for aircraft. They have simulators for tanks. They don't have simulators for infantry, dismounted soldiers, until now, thanks to our technology. And so we've sold units to the U.S. Army, West Point, U.S. Air Force Academy, Yokota Air Force Base. We recently announced a development agreement with the U.S. Navy. We have a big project with the U.S. Marine Corps. So all 4 branches of the U.S. military are already working with us as we pursue bigger contracts in the defense space for training and simulation. And with that, the one other thing that's worth mentioning, one thing we're doing there is using AI. That's a very exciting development. We use AI-driven 3D reconstruction, something called Gaussian splatting, to quickly turn 360-degree camera footage into a photorealistic virtual replica of that real-world location within hours. So this process of creating a beautiful VR world, that used to take a lot of time, weeks or months, very expensive. Now, thanks to AI, we can do that within hours. We have a photorealistic virtual replica of the real world, really delivering on the full promise of VR. And that's amazing. And then with our technology, with the Omni, you can then walk around inside that photorealistic replica as if you're really there. So for mission planning, mission rehearsal, for the warfighter, it's a capability that the military has not had yet until today. So that's what we're getting a lot of excitement for, especially in the defense industry.
That's incredible. I would love to try. And I also, love video games. So I feel like, wow, that's quite impressive. So for investors and viewers watching this, what are the key milestones or catalysts they should be paying attention to over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah. Well, look, we're growing. To date, we've brought 3 amazing products to market, $25 million in sales to date, 26 patents. We just announced our 26th patent. But we're ready now as a public company to scale, to take our company to the next level. So on the consumer side, we announced 41% year-over-year growth, last earnings, 60% year-over-year for the Christmas holiday season. We're quickly scaling our consumer sales with the Omni One gaming system. And there we have the Made for Meta program that's coming up. It's going to be a big catalyst on the consumer growth side. So we're ready to scale on the consumer side. And then on the defense side, we're working towards those bigger projects, bigger programs, bigger contracts with the U.S. government. And we're getting a lot of traction there. have a lot of announcements to make in that regard. So those are two main catalysts that will really keep our organic growth going. And then, of course, we're also looking at inorganic growth, M&A, as well. So we have a lot of things in the pipeline that we believe will take our company to the next level. And we have this rallying cry inside our company. $100 million in revenues, $1 billion market cap. That's our rallying cry. We have production capacity in place for 3,000 units a month today. That's $100 million in annual revenues. That's our next big milestone. And that's what we want to work towards as fast as possible. So we're ready to grow, we're ready to scale, and we invite investors to join us on our exciting journey ahead.
Well, congratulations on all of your success so far, Jan. It's a very exciting company in a very exciting space. Lots of growth to be seen here. So best of luck, and I look forward to hopefully having you back on for more updates as the business progresses.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.